Glasgow Print Studios have a long and rich history of working with Alistair Gray, with Gray creating almost 40 prints over a 40-year period with the team there. Claire Forsyth joined in 2006 and today leads the creative artistic direction and strategy of the organisation as creative director. She is principally responsible for the personnel and logistical management of the GPS printmaking workshop and all related activities, and shares the planning and delivery of the practice as an artist. And also in a professional capacity, she has been on the advisory panel for the Scottish Government on creative strategy in the cultural industries, worked as a visiting printmaking lecturer at GCA and others, and was part of the curriculum validation panel of City of Glasgow College. Please welcome Claire Forsyth.
Thank you. Wow, what a welcome. Thank you. I've got the difficult slot following the amazing Tamdene Byrne and just before lunch. So bear with me. I'm going to tell you a very short amount about our work with Alistair, and then I'm going to introduce you to a great activity that we've got set up for everybody. So Alistair came into the orbit of Glasgow Print Studio, which was set up in around 1972 as a sort of grassroots organisation, and then sort of snowballed from there. It was a place to make prints, but it was also a place of creativity and people gathering. And the very charismatic director in 1979, Callum Mackenzie, attracted all kinds of wonderful and talented people. So our first experience with Alistair was around 1979, where groups of writers would use the premises as well as the printmakers. Those writers just happened to be Liz Lockhead, James Kelman, Alan Spence, Tom Leonard, and Alistair Gray, just in a little corner of the studio. And they would get together and talk about writing that they were producing. And a group came together where they actually started to publish under an imprint called Glasgow Print Press. So we were actually lucky enough to be linked to Alistair from the very beginning, and in fact helped publish one of his first books, which was The Comedy of the White Dog. That is now in our archive. It's a very collector's item. So we're a not-for-profit printmaking studio. We have 300 members that can use it, a bit like a gym for artists. We have a huge education program, so if you don't know what printing is, although you're all about to once you've done this, then you can come and join and learn about how to print. We also have 2 floors of galleries where you can see all the different types of printmaking that can be accessed. The first prints that we made with Alistair were actually a bit later on, and those were around about 1980 they were the illustrations that ended up going towards the first imprint of his seminal book Lanark in 1981, which was published by Canongate. So that was an enormous privilege to work with Alistair. We've worked with him right up until he's passed away, and together we made around 40 prints, some of which you can see here. The majority of them were in silkscreen towards the end because that was very quick, and you could change things very quickly, which was handy and then also dangerous. The more Alistair lived with the work that he made, the more he would see ways that it could be improved and changed. So for us, it was always a very non-linear process where you might think something was finished, but actually you would soon discover perhaps it wasn't, and it needed to come back to be printed again. I know anecdotally there was also a similar experience with some paintings, which is even more problematic, where they would be returned after being loaned out by collectors with a few little amendments made by Alistair. Not always to the collector's joy. So, working with Alistair was a real privilege to work with somebody that embodied creativity. And when we think about printmaking, it's just another facet of how to make manifest in this world what you're thinking in your mind, the stories, shapes, and images that might come out. We know that Alistair was very egalitarian, and so in some ways print is probably a very good medium for him to have been drawn to. He also was working on murals, so these are works that can be shared with everybody and seen by everybody, accessible to all. And even one of his first jobs as Glasgow's official first city recorder, the artist recorder, was about being embedded in community and making drawings that reflect the world around us. They're not locked away, not for just the few, they were for everybody. So when we think about printmaking, that was just another facet, as well as writing as a way of sharing ideas and stimulating philosophical debate, and creating new worlds for people in a way that you could get into, whether you're in a library or at home locked in a book, or having Tamdene Byrne read most magnificently to you. It unlocks these other worlds, and we're in one of his worlds right now. So the prints are a similar thing. They live on after he is no longer with us. And we can see two beautiful examples here of these are screen prints. We have Bella Caledonia over here and Omnium Gatherum there, which this was one of, towards the end, of the last prints that we made, and sums up a lot of what he was interested in. So looking at colour, looking at politics, nationhood, creativity, and all the different things that made up the wonderful being that was Alistair. We are in 2008, I don't know if there's any here, we often find that his writing would intersect with his art. He made a series of screen prints that were illustrations of T.S. Eliot's Scots Hippo. One of the great things about Alistair was if we came up against a barrier, it would be overcome very quickly. The estate of T.S. Eliot actually refused permission for those poems to be used. But that was no problem. Alistair rewrote them in Lalan Scots language, and we now have this incredible, unique set of prints. Quick plug here, all these prints can be seen in Glasgow Print Studio, which is down in the Trongate. We welcome visitors, we're here for everybody. We have 2 floors of galleries which are for free, so you can come and see a lot of Alistair's work there and the work of many other artists as well. We also have an archive with one of the largest collections of prints in Scotland that is working towards museum accreditation. So if you've got any grey heads here, you can arrange to come and see the archive and see all of the prints that we made with Alistair. And we're delighted to work, continue our relationship with Alistair and Alistair's legacy through the incredible Alistair Gray archive. So we're a bit tight for time, and we've got a very unenviable slot of we're going to be printing at the same time as lunch, so some hard decisions to be made, everybody. We are set up over here. We're going to be demonstrating one print process, which is screen print. Screen print it can be very complex, where you use lots of layers of color, but also is a tool for making lots of images quickly, and that's why we see it, and I think Alistair would have liked this. It's often used as a tool for political change, dissent, or for sharing information very quickly. So we have an amazing artist, Andrea Cardo is here, and also Sam over here. So we're starting just after this, and Tam will tell you a bit more about that. So you'll all be able to do a print if you would like and take it home. Just ending on that note, Alistair did a lot of prints and took them home, and he would look at them in his bedroom, and he would decide that things were often not finished. So they live on forever, and I hope that people enjoy printing your works here of a fantastic portrait of Alistair as a young man. And who knows, when you get them home and they're up on the wall, you might decide that you're not finished either, and I think Alistair would love that. So yeah, get out the pens, get a bit of paint, maybe screen print something else on top, and in that way his rebel spirit lives on. So yeah, Tam's going to come back on, and then we will be ready to have people screen printing over there. So we also have some leaflets about the studio as well, so enjoy. So thanks for having me, and we look forward to getting messy over there. Thank you.